All right then. So now what we are going to do is we are going to write some real-time complex querying examples. So we are going to write some really tricky and how we are going to write the queries in a real time and scenarios and everything. Basically, we are going to practice some hard examples, right? So I listed out several questions. I hope for few of them it might complex and few of them it might easier, but the idea of this questions over here is just to make sure understand how to use the different operators and conditions and specific scenarios together, right? So here are 10 complex real-time querying examples in the MongoDB I provided with along with the sample data and as well as the corresponding queries and examples code for that also. Okay, so you can follow this documentation. So I'm going to copy this, copy it, copy, paste it. Before that, I'm going to drop this collection first because I need to use this. So I'm going to drop this collection, drop it. Then I'm going to paste this code, whichever I copied from the documentation, enter it. So now we have all the 10 different records. All right, so let's go ahead and refresh it over here, employees. Now we do have the 10 different records over here, right? So first what we are going to do is, so find the employees who have been hired in last 2 years. That's a tricky question, right? So because we are having the hired date, so how to work with the dates? That's the most important thing. This is the most common thing we use quite a lot when you're working with the APIs or data fetching, because user try to filter based on the dates quite a lot. So that's the first question that we are trying to practice. So what we are trying to do, find the employees who have been hired in last 2 years. So let's write the query for that. So first thing, which is going to be db.employees.find, open it, open the curly brackets, hit the enter. So what is the date name? Okay, hire date. Let's copy and paste it over here. So please be very careful when you're copying and pasting because we do have some unwanted spaces and everything. So open it, open the curly brackets one more time. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this greater than or equals to colon new date function, open it. And inside this new date function, what I have to do now, inside this new date function, again, I'm going to generate new date. Then right after that, so I'm going to say set, once again, I'm going to use this function called set full, fullyear, set full year, open it. Then inside that bracket, again, new date dot, after that I'm gonna get that full year, get full year, and I'm going to use this is a function, so get that full year and minus 2, right? This is how we are going to write that condition. And once everything is done, this should align the record much prettier, so make sure it is pretty at the end. So what we are trying to do, so we are trying to fetch the record of the from the higher date, which is going to greater than or equals to, and then I'm converting the entire record into a date. Inside that entire record, I'm going to convert it one more time, and I'm going to first set the data, because we are having a timestamp. So first I'm converting that timestamp into year, then I'm going to get that year and I'm going to minus it to -2. Okay, so what we are trying to fetch over here, finding the employees who have been hired in the last 2 years. From the current year, we are trying to figure it out the last 2 years. So now if you hit the enter, that is going to give you the record of that employee who's been hired in the last 2 years. See, 2023, and others record 2016, 2015, 2021, and 2016, 17. See, that's the thing. This is the only employee who been hired in the last 2 years. That's the pretty complex question, right? And this is the complex query that you need to write. Don't worry, I already wrapped it over here, so you can use the documentation for your help. Then let's move on to the next complex question. Now, it's a range of, we need to figure it out the record based on the range wise. So find the employees with the salaries between 50,000 to 70,000 inclusive, right? Including 50,000 and 70,000. Let's try to do that. So db.employees.find, we are going to find the record, open it, open the curly brackets, hit the enter. And then what we are going to do, we are going to use the salary field, open it, open the curly brackets. First, we are trying to use the GTE greater than or equals to 50,000, then comma, and $LTE less than or equals to colon 70,000, something like that. Hit the enter. So this is the record whose salary is in range between 50,000 to 70,000. That's how you need to work with the ranges, right? Then the third question, find the employees who have either the department as communications, not the department, the skills, whose skills either communication or development. So we have to fetch the based on the skills, because basically if you check the record, it's an array of records. Every single employee have different skill sets, but in that skills array, we are trying to figure it out only the communication or the development. If any of these matches, we need to filter the record. That's a tricky question over here. So let's write the query to do that. So here, db.employees.find, open it, open the curly brackets, hit the enter, shift enter, then skills. We are trying to filter the record by skills. Basically, skills is an array. So let's open it. In that, we do have this in operator, just like in the JavaScript, we do have the includes function, right? To figure it out whether that particular string is inside the array or not. Just like that, we have the in operator and open it and supply the array of strings. What is the string that we are trying to do? We are trying to figure it out. Communication, communication. And one more thing, what is that? Development. So if you expand the skills, we have lots of skill sets over here. You can keep on add those things over here. So first one is going to be the communication, and the second one is going to be the development. And I'm going to align this record in a pretty way. So pretty. Okay. So now if you hit the enter, there we go. See, skills, communication, development. See, only we have 3 different employees matching that specific skill sets, right? That's the one of the trickiest question. Looking good. Now let's move on to the 4th question. Clear it? Okay. Now what we are trying to do is, we are trying to find the employees who are older than 30. His age should be older than 30, and they should be on the finance or IT department, either of these, any two of this department. He should be older than 30 and he should either in finance or IT department. Let's try to figure it out how to do that. Okay. Since I already told that in the skills, since it's already an array, so we can use it in operator to work with the array of conditions. So how to find it for department also? Department is not an array, it's a string, right? Anyways, we are trying to compare the strings only. So we can supply the array of conditions, array of strings. So that is try to figure it out. It will fetch the department value and try to figure it out whether it is inside that array or not, right? Let's try to do that. So db.employees.find, open it, open the curly brackets, hit the enter. And here, age, open it. Age should be older than, that means greater than 30, comma, shift enter. Then we are trying to figure it out the department. So the department value should be in this following array, which is going to be the finance, then which is going to be the IT department. Then let's arrange the record in a much prettier way. Hit the enter. There we go. So you can see the age is greater than 35 and he is in the IT department, and 40 and he is in the finance department, and age is 32 and he is in IT department. This is how we can write the work with the different strings and the numbers together. Cool. Okay. So what we need to do is, I need to filter the record who skill sets are not equals to Excel. So I need to filter all the employees. If he doesn't have the Excel skill, give me the record. How to do that? So let's try to do that. So db.employees.find, open it, enter. So skills, we are trying to figure out the skills. In this case, what we need to do is, of course, we are going to use the not equal to, any not equal to operator whose skill should not match as the Excel, right? Apart from Excel, I need to filter the records. So if particularly if the employees who's having the master skills in Excel, I don't need that guy. I need the guy who's not having the skills on Excel. So hit the enter. Now here we go. Except the Excel, you have all the other employees over here, right? Looking good. Then now let's move on to our sixth question. Find the top 3 highest paid employee and return only their names and the salaries. That's the quite complex query over here, because we need to find first, what is the first condition? We need to find the top 3 highest paid salary, which means we need to sort the record and sort the record based on the salary, and we need to limit it to top 3, right? Then we need to return only their names and as well as the salary. Apart from that, we don't need any other information. So let's try to do that. So here, db.employees.find, open it, hit the enter, and leave the first field as an empty. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more conditions over here. So then I'm going to supply the field. I need the name field. Then I need the salary field. So when you're trying to filter, get the name and salary, of course, it's going to return the ID also. I don't need the ID. So let's mark it as 0. I don't need the ID. Then I need to sort this record on based on what? We need to sort this record based on the salary field. Salary should be in a descending order. So -1. Then I need to limit this record. So dot limit to top 3. Then let's arrange it in a prettier way. That's it. Now if you hit the enter, there we go. See, we are getting the David Lee and Lucy Gray and Mike Johnson. These are the employees who's having the top 3 getting highly paid employees in our list. That's cool, right? This is a quite complex query, but it will take some time to practice it and everything. But you have to understand how these query structures are properly arranged and how, according to the condition, how we are applying it. Everything is based on your questionnaires and based on your data. So before start querying it, you need to understand what you have in your hand, which means you need to know about your data in and out completely, right? So cool. Now let's move on to the 7th question. So the 7th question is, find the employees in the HR department and sort them by age in ascending order. Okay, let's do that, which is easy only. So db.employees.find, open it, curly brackets, open it. First, what we are going to do, we are going to use the department, right? Department, which is going to be the HR. Then what we need to do, we need to sort it. Sort, open it. We need to sort based on the age wise. So age is going to be 1. Then we need to arrange it in a prettier way. By default, it is in ascending only, so we don't have to do anything else. So hit the enter. There we go. See, 22, 30, which is coming from only the HR department. Cool. That's easy question, right? Then let's move on to our 8th question. So find the employees who are younger than 30 and have more than 2 skills. That's a tricky question over here. We are not comparing any skills. We are trying to figure it out. The employee should be younger than 30 and he should have minimum 2 skills. That's a quite complex query over here. Let's try to do that. So db.employees, employees dot find, dot find, open it, and open the curly brackets, hit the enter. Okay, so now first we need to filter the age. So age should be, he should be younger, so which means lesser than, so LTE or LT, not LTE, he should be younger than 30, which means we should not include the 30. So LT lesser than age 30. Then and the skill should be greater than 2, which means we need to use the var operator, var supply. This is the keyword, this dot skills dot length, length, which means this keyword which refers to the current record in that list, and we are trying to figure out the skill property, and the skill property is an array, and the array length should be greater than 2, just like that. Okay, then let's format it to pretty. So now if you hit the enter, var not allowed in the Atlas tier. Okay, so basically var condition will work when you're working with the any other query platform, like working with Prisma or anything else, but here in the Atlas it's not supporting that var condition. I'm sorry, I thought it will work, but it's not working. But this condition will work perfectly when you're working on a development mode, when you're working with JavaScript or any other Python programming languages which is available out there, right? This will work definitely. Okay, this is saying $var not allowed in this Atlas tier. It's not support us to use it in the Atlas. Okay, which we are the current software which we are using. Okay, fine. All right. Then now what we have to do is find the employees who were hired before 2020 and having strategic planning as a skill. This is whenever you're working with the dates, which is more complex to work with. So let's try to do that. So what we need to do, we need to figure it out who's hired before 2020 and his skill should be strategic planning. Let's try to do that. db.employees.find, open it, curly brackets, break it. Then first we need to say hire date, which is going to be open it. Then we are going to use the operator LTE, should be, because his date should be less than 2020, right? So less than 2020 is equals to new date, open the brackets, and let's apply 2020 hyphen 01 that's the year and the month, comma, then his skills should be equals to strategic. Wait a second, we don't want to run into any spelling mistakes, right? So let me copy and paste that over here, strategic planning, hit the enter. There we go. See, it's 2015 and he's also having the strategic planning in it, right? That's good. And the last and more complex question, so find the employees whose names start with J and the project only their names and department. So we are trying to figure it out, the employees by their starting letter of the name should be J. So how to do that? So instead of checking the entire name, we are trying to figure it out. Only their first letter of that name should be J, and we are trying to display only their name and their department. Let's try to do that. So here what we need to do, db.employees.find, open it, break it. Don't use the curly brackets. First curly brackets, open it. What is that? We are trying to do with the name. Let's try to filter the name first. Name, open it. So here we are going to use the regular expressions. So $reg, regular expression, regex, open it. The name should be start, open like this, slash, then use this up arrow. It should start with J and it should finish it like this. Okay, then comma. So what we're trying to instructing over here is, so this is how you need to wrap the regular expression. It should start with the J. That is what. So the name should start with j. So that's the regular expression. So if you check the MongoDB documentation, you can find quite a lot of regular expressions, which is common. Regular expressions are common. If you just do some smart research on regular expression, you can understand how to work with the regular expressions and everything. So here, then the name, I need the name field, true. Then I need the department field, true. And I don't need the ID field. Let's make it as false. Okay, so then let's format it. Pretty. Hit the enter. There we go. So name and the department. Okay, whose name is starting with the first letter as J. Look at that. So these are some common query specific that we use quite a lot in a development whenever we are working on web or mobile apps. These are the common filtering that we use to apply with. So if you are want to work with much more complex queries and everything, so please do some research and start working with it. You have to do and you have to practice for countless hours with the different examples with the different strategies. Then only you can understand how you can write, how you can use these operators and combine them together to create the more optimistic queries, right?